Hi and good evening, and welcome to THFC Till I Die podcast, episode number 14, I think, Philip, of this great podcast that we do. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just left to us, the two lads on the channel, where Philip just gets his medallion and he shoves it around a bit, and then I just have to keep ducking in case he hits me in the head with it, which I think one
It's
day he
coming.
will do.
It's coming.
It's coming, yeah. And that will be live on YouTube. Philip, how are you this evening? I know you came on earlier. I know you're suffering with a bit of, which you might be
Yeah, it's a
laryngitis, a
dodgy
little bit, I
throat.
think.
Dodgy throat. Still a bit dodgy, so I might be a bit hoarse tonight, but sure, we'll keep going anyway, you know.
You sound like a
Do you end up
manager.
with what's
You
that?
sound like a manager. You sound like a manager has just given Eric Dyer a bollocking after a bad game.
No, I'd have no voice at all if I'd done that.
Anyway, also you can get this podcast on Spotify and Amazon Music as well. After this, it will be uploaded then on THFC Till I Die. Philip has also got on Spotify. We have our own playlist, and what I'm going to try to do is link the two up. So we're trying the next couple of days. We're going to it's our own sort of playlist as well of music that we all love. So we're going to try to put. We even might start again, Philip, and put up on the
Yeah, might do a new one actually for the close season and get the members to add on their own songs to it as well, you know.
Yeah. So we'll probably do a show on that actually about music. We are going to do a music show about all the music we all like, myself, Philip, Ellie, and Mia as well, and how Tottenham and music for us is linked with different songs and different matches and what we were listening to when we were over the years. So let's see who's in the chat in this podcast. Firstly, want to welcome Nathan Passard from India as a new YouTube member. He's a Harry Kane member, so big up there, Nathan. Thank you so much for joining. Really does mean a lot to us. And if you want to be a bit like Nathan, it's only $2.99. It's cheaper than Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime, and you get more for your buck than you do on here. But my other half would probably disagree with that, but we just have to wait and see. But there you go. But yeah, big up. So into we've got FTS and Colin. Big up, Colin. Hope you do well, sir.
Hi, Colin.
Colin, will you ever get who's going to buy you a club so somebody can buy us? Just please get it sorted, all right? God, Manchester United never get. Do you remember the fella who bought them years ago, Philip?
Yeah, that's right. It was a big con job. There's nothing in it.
Yeah. And he ran onto the pitch the opening day, kicking the ball up in the air. And then what was his name?
Right.
Michael, was it Knight?
Oh, do you know, something Colin will tell us. I remember that. That was one of the greatest farces ever, that. It really was.
It was. It really was. We've got Hot God 10. Good evening, so. And he says hello to everyone. We've got Drula. Big up, Drula. Hope you're doing well. We've got Jim in the house. Big up, Jim. And we've got David Clark. Hi from Beaumont Lays. Listen, I want to say something about David put in the comment. Now, I said earlier, Philip, that if you were to give Romero the captaincy, it was a bit like giving Maradona the captaincy at the time. It calmed him down because Maradona was quite a, fiery player. And David put in the comment, and I do agree with him that I think Maradona wouldn't lace Pele's boots or even Messi. So I would love David to put in the chat, and use well for you, David, as well. For all the years you've been watching football, who is your top 3 all-time top players ever? Any league, any nationality, anything. So put that into the chat, David, and we will do a show in that, actually. We will do a podcast on that. We've got have a think on that, Philippa, and let me know.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
We've got Kate, big up Kate as well. Jim's wife, big up Kate. She says, a bit hoarse. You sure you're not the donkey? No, not this again.
No, we go again.
Here we go.
I'd rather be a donkey at the moment than this one hanging over me.
I tell you, well, we all still don't know what happened to the wee donkey, but we will find out one day. The best group of all time were the Temptations. That's not actually a bad shout.
Well, that's not good. They're a good soul. Tamla Motown, yeah, a good soul band. You know, I'm going to type who I think the best band of all time is, and
well, I think the best band I think for me is the Eagles. But there you go. We've got Andrew Gregory, Evening Dermot and Philip. Hodgos said it was Knighton. That was it. That was his name. Colin said if he was in charge, it would be done. Yeah, I bet it would. Yeah, I get what you meant. That Hod. I actually watched that. They interviewed him. I don't know if you guys remember Saint and Greavesy on the Saturday afternoon or Saturday lunchtime. They interviewed him on that the first day of the season, when apparently he was supposed to give Fergie millions and turn Manchester United around, and didn't last very long.
They obviously hadn't heard of due diligence back in those days, you know.
No. Kate saying "Take That," the best band ever. Okay. Yeah, I actually would agree with you, Philip. They're being the top three.
Having seen the main man of that band live about 4 weeks ago at 78 years of age, and he still blew the place apart. So,
look, for me, the best. I mean, I'm a massive Bowie fan, and Queen. I think Queen for me are the best rock band in the world, apart from the Eagles. But Queen for me are up there. David Clark's put Pele, Banks, and Messi. I still put Maradona and George Best in there. But that's something we might do one podcast with. Do our all-time. You're my all-time top 10 world-class players. So there's a podcast for everyone that will be coming. Yeah. Andrew says, just your imagination today.
That's very subtle. That's a Temptations song, actually. That's just your imagination.
Yeah, it is. Oh God, yes,
very subtle
it is.
There. Very subtle.
Hod God, he's put some good ones in there actually. All-time top 3 players. Best Ronald. Ronald. Do you want to read that for me, Philip?
Best Ronaldinho and Banks.
That just made me jump. Oh dear, I don't know, Mrs.
I'm actually going to put up now the 3 worst players ever. Right?
Yeah.
These are the 3 worst Spurs players ever.
I think Mrs. Brady's trying to kill me off here, Philip.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame her. Right, I'm going to put these. This is just for a laugh, right? Now, see if does anybody remember these guys.
We've got Andrew Gregory saying Springsteen called John Fogerty and the modern day Hank Williams. Oh, Springsteen called John Fogerty. Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. They're great. They're great pals, actually. So
yeah. Hot God's gone for the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and the Rolling Stones. For me, the Rolling Stones, look, they were great. I think Derville said it to me. They were great in the 60s. But one song I cannot stand, and Derville knows this. I'm a massive Bowie fan, right? Love Bowie, love his music, love all what he did. But the song he did with Mick Jagger, Dancing in the Streets, I wish they would take that song and burn it.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song. It's a brilliant song.
No, I'm sorry.
Maybe the original version, not their version. The song itself is brilliant. No, hang on, listen to me. The song itself is brilliant. Maybe not their version.
Yeah. The song itself is great.
Dancing in the Street.
Yeah. I got a David Bowie Greatest Hits album, right? Loved it. And I love Modern Love. That's one of my favorite songs. Your man, he did the Let Dance album. What's his name? Oh, what was his name? He done not Earth, Wind and Fire.
Not that Clark guy used to be with them.
No.
Oh, I know who you're thinking of here.
You know who I'm on about? Who done the Let's Dance? Who wrote Let's Dance?
Nile Rodgers.
Nile Rodgers.
Nile Rodgers, that's the one. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Derville knows more about music than anyone I know. That woman is that woman. Well, she's a genius when it comes to music. She really does. Though she still looks at me and says, "Why do you like Elvis Dermot?" But there you go. We all got our guilty pleasures. But yeah, he wrote the Let Dance album, and he done Let's Dance and Modern Love. That is my favorite song, Modern Love. But Jesus, Dancing in the Streets by Mick Jagger and David Bowie. David Bowie.
That was a charity record, though. That was done for charity, wasn't it?
I know. Wherever he is, wherever he's listening to this, why in God's name did you do that song? Serious to God. I saw him twice, right? David Bowie is brilliant live. Saw him in Dublin, saw him at Wembley. And absolutely, that man is... And anyone who's at Glastonbury this weekend, Elton John is Sunday evening, 9 o'clock. His last ever UK performance. So that's on
this year.
Live.
Elton John's like Tina Turner. There are 14 retirement tours. Just keeps going. You know, every time everyone's a pension popper upper.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I saw Bowie and Jagger doing that live at the Prince Trust concert at Wembley Arena. Oh, God love you, Andrew. Sorry.
I live to tell the tale.
Yeah, ELO, one of my favorite bands. That's Kate. Yeah. That's Kate's new YouTube channel, by the way.
Oh, lovely. ELO are the one band I haven't seen and I want to see. I've got to see ELO because I think they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, they are. David Clark. Well, this is one thing me and David Clark can actually agree on. Bowie had a greater effect on future music than any other artist, and I agree with that.
Yeah, he was influential, all right.
Yeah, some of his videos were out of this world, like Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. That video for Ashes to Ashes is something else. And also Let Dance is very good. It's a political video as well at the time because of the.
Do you know what? If everyone wants to have a look at the video, in the video that came out in the end of 1984, when videos were only starting to be in their infancy, if you look it up, it's a John Fogerty video to a song called The Old Man Down the Road. If you watch that video, it is amazing what they do with it. It's brilliant. It starts off with a guitar lead plugged into an amplifier and goes the whole way around California until it reaches him playing the guitar at the end. It's brilliant. Have a look at it. Great song too.
I still stand by the best music film ever is The Commitments.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen The Commitments, you don't know what you're missing. And do you know what I love as well? The Blues Brothers. I know it's totally over the top, but the music sequences in it are absolutely brilliant.
They are. I watched the Elvis film with your man. What was his name? Who starred in it? My brain's gone completely. Austin Butler. Austin Butler played.
Oh yeah, the Elvis film. Yeah.
I have to say, I watched that film. I watched it twice, and it's a great film. It really is a great film. It's one of my favorite films of the year. I have to say, and also the Queen film as well that your man done.
Yeah, I thought the Queen film was excellent. Really good.
Yeah,
really good.
He starred in Mr. Robot as well. He was the villain in the last Bond film. But if you ever watched the program called Mr. Robot, he's actually in that, and I forget who else is in it.
He's a ringer for Freddie Mercury anyway. Whatever way
he was. He really, and I tell you, Aston Butler didn't do a bad Elvis either. To be fair to him, the 70s Elvis.
Oh, he did. Yeah, no, he was good. He was good.
Yeah.
We've got commitment.
Yeah. Anyone that's probably my generation, like being a teenager, The Commitments was the film to go to see.
Do you know the guy that plays Deco in it, Andrew Strong? Yeah. His father is still gigging at 78 or 79. A fellow called Andrew Strong, and I saw him last winter in Longford, and he has got the voice of an oh my God, his voice is brilliant. You see where Andrew got it from. Plays blues and stuff like that. Brilliant.
Now, Kate, look, we all think you're lovely. All right, we all think you're great. You're great, but seriously, to God, MC Hammer, really. I suppose everyone has the guilty pleasure. Angelo says China Girl was the best Bowie song. Yeah, it was. It wasn't too bad, actually. She also says, my gym used to be a bodyguard to Michael Jackson.
Well. Jim, the stories to be told there, I'd say.
I tell you, when we do the music show, the stream about music, come on, Jim. We'd love to get you on, actually. Hot God says, on my bucket list is Iron Maiden. Best soundtrack to a film, Philip, for me, AC/DC, Iron Man 1 and 2. For me.
Well, I've listened to AC/DC, maybe not the soundtracks, but I like AC/DC. Yeah.
I've always said that
nobody's put up Daniel O'Donnell yet. I'm very disappointed.
I've got a funny story to say about that. Right, just very quickly, at my funeral, I want Highway to Hell played. For some reason,
it's probably right anyway. It's probably the right direction you're going anyway. So
it probably is the right direction I'm going. Should I? I'll probably pass you along the way, Philip.
That's it.
Back in '87, do you remember when we had I don't know if you had them over here at the time. We just moved back from Ireland, back from Monagar, back to England again, and we had the Great Storm of '87 when the weatherman, I forget his name, wisely said, maybe Kate and Jim, probably some in the chat will remember, said, "Don't worry, there's no storm on the way." Michael Fish, that's it.
Michael Fish, that's him.
And he said, "There's no storm on the way." Suddenly, anyway, so my mother, whatever possessed her, and to this day, I still don't know what got into her head. They thought it'd be a great idea to bring an 8-year-old Dermot to a Daniel O'Donnell concert. Now, that's not the bad part. Right. The worst part was giving me a piece of paper, having to walk around the whole arena to go up and give it to him on stage. Who do I walk past?
Lovely.
My headmaster and my best mate at school both looking at me, right? But my best mate's mother told him to do the same thing. So there's two of us waddling up, right, giving him this piece of paper. Oh, Lord, we got stuck at school for it the next day. Well, mind you, the next day we were off because of the storm that hit. We've got David Clark saying the sexiest music for the nightclub dance floor was Barry White.
I must give you another quick Daniel O'Donnell joke there, just we're on the subject. You remember Tower Records? I love the Tower Records going on. And this guy's walking past Tower Records and he saw this guy standing outside and he had a big hat. He was actually covered with 48 boxes of condoms. And he says, "What the hell are you doing with them?" Oh, he says, "Tell me about it." He says, I went in to buy a Daniel O'Donnell CD, but I was too embarrassed to ask for it.
So he came out with about 48 boxes of condoms. I'm going to tell that one.
Now, I have to say, I'm going to temper that. Because I know Daniel O'Donnell. I met him. I used to live about 2 miles away from him, so I know him. He actually is one of the most genuine people you can meet. He really is a nice guy. So we'll leave it at that.
Mia says, Wayne Bonner says, Michael Fish, wasn't it, John? No, it was Michael Fish. He got stick for years. Mia said she was only 5. Big up, Mia. She says, this is the link for Kate's channel. Yeah, so please, Mia, could you send me that link on WhatsApp so I can add it into us so we can bring it up as well? And I tell you what we might do tonight is put the link in for the last 10 minutes, Philip, of the podcast and just get a few, see will Kate come on and she can plug her channel. After the last bit and Zeke and Jim come on because I'd love to hear more about him being Michael Jackson's bodyguard. DJ
maybe Jim had to sign an NDA now before he a non-disclosure agreement. Possibly.
I think it's a bit. We've got DJ Samuel Kiss. I was made for loving you. That's a good song. Mm-hmm. Simply Red, holding back the years.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
another good song. To the final countdown.
There's so many of them, really. You know, so many of them.
Was devastated. Didn't know when she found out that Europe had knocked Simply Red off the top of the charts. Kate says, "Yeah, he has some stories. He worked for the Saudi royal family as head of security for 25 years."
Oh boy, yeah. You better not say anything about that, Jim, or else they'll come knocking on your door.
The stage show, The Commitments, was excellent.
I saw it in February in Dublin. It was really good. And do you know who was in it? Do you remember anyone that watched Coronation Street in the years gone by? Terry Duckworth, the guy that played Terry Duckworth, played the father, and he was absolutely superfluous the whole thing. He did nothing. He just sat there. The rest of them were doing all the singing.
Right. Out of the 3 films, Philip, where would you place them in order? Because I would place The Commitments, The Snapper, then The Van.
The Commitments first, by a mile, then The Snapper, then The Van. That's the way I like them.
The Van was funny when the lads, the little kids, right, just going on. Do you sell ice cream?
Yeah. I know. No, I thought The Commitments was brilliant, you know. And the bit when they're doing the gig, the first gig they ever played in the parish hall, and the boy spelled heroin wrong. He put an E on the end of heroin. You know, on the side.
Which one was it when he took him to that sort of posh sort of wine bar in Dublin? Do you remember what the married men used to go? The bottle of wine cost 25 quid or something. I think that was that The Snapper.
No, it wasn't The Commitments anyway. I've seen The Commitments about 10 times. I've only seen the other ones a couple of times. So
Oh no, they're great. I tell you, there's some great Irish films over the years, though, Philip. Though, if you look at, you've got them, and you've got Rion,
the Field, Michael Collins.
Who's
Butcher
the
Boy.
we've got
Angela's
what's it? Angela's Ashes?
Yeah.
My Left Foot.
Yeah.
What was the other one with the reporter? What was her name?
Kate Ailey.
Veronica.
Oh, not Kate Ailey, Veronica Guerin. Yeah, Veronica Guerin. That was good too.
It was.
And the general, the Michael. What do you call him? The criminal. Yeah. So a lot of good Irish films.
Says the Snapper is brilliant. Yeah, the Snapper is funny.
Yeah.
Especially when he's out there with the hedge clippers, the edge of the driveway. Huh? The Commitments is the best. They would just said
absolutely.
No NDA. So
no NDA. All right, that should be good. Okay.
So anyway, come on.
Yeah. Right, back at the football.
Hang on, we'll just finish this. The best rock band I've seen live was the band from the late '60s called Hawkwind.
Jesus, David, I saw Hawkwind playing live as well. They were very electronic. They had this kind of synthesizer soundy thing going. The great song called Silver Machine. That was a brilliant song. I think it was their only hit single.
Yeah, that's it. Lemmy. Yeah.
Lemmy. He went onto Motorhead.
You can probably hear Derval in the background. My music is
she's prompting you.
Yeah, my music encyclopedia. See, up there. What she doesn't know about music is beyond me. It really is, bless her. She really is. Honest to God, Philip, I could be watching something right. And even my young lad as well, our young lad, he taught himself how to play the guitar. And Lord Jesus, can he play it? He plays bass, and he goes back to music to the 30s and 20s. So he goes right back. So
interesting.
They definitely get the music from their mum side. They really do.
Nice.
But we've got Wayne Bonner with a €2 super chat. Big up Wayne Bonner. It says Irish films love high spirits.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. But a ghost somewhere, haunted house somewhere, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right now, can you be
quiet? Super chat from Wayne Bonner.
Big up super chat. I mean, big up Wayne Bonner. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what we've got here, we've got Mia put in. Where was Mia's chat? I don't know why we started on this actually, Philip, but
no, it was good fun.
Angela's Ashes is such a sad story. I've read 2 of the books.
Very,
the
film sad.
Really sad as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a true story. And you also have P.S. I Love You. Yeah, that's a good film as well. Right, Philip, shall we crack on with football? That's what the podcast is about. But that is for another podcast, actually. So here we go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, Philip. Well, we're going to start with a bit of breaking news. And where did I put it now, Philip? I did have it up earlier, and it is. If I can find it. Do you want to read out this for us now, Philip?
Yeah, Greta Steinson is set to leave his position as Tottenham Hotspur's performance director. This, I think, is another part of the Postecoglou revolution and the what do you call him, the Munn guy coming in, because he's only with us a year. He was with Everton for 3 years before that and Fleetwood Town before that. So he obviously doesn't fit in with what's being thought of, Scott Munn and what have you. So to say only a year, I'd say it's more he's more a victim of the restructure rather than his own performance. But anyway, he's gone, and that's things are subtly moving around in the background at Tottenham at the moment.
They really are, Philip. They really are. And the other bit of breaking news I was given by our source, who I have to say, who's been mostly right all the time, Philip, to be fair to him.
Yeah, no, indeed. Yeah, fair dues.
Yeah. Edmund Tapsoba is top of the list as talks will take place in the next days. But Liverpool also set to open talks also.
Right, we'll get in there quick because that guy is good.
Yeah,
he's from Burkina Faso in Africa.
Yeah.
So I presume there'll be a work permit issue if he comes here, but that shouldn't be a problem as long as he's a full international. So, but get in there first while Liverpool go. You know, can't be losing players to the Scousers.
There will be Celtic will fight off the best Celtic will fight off the best they can. Any approach made by Tottenham. I think that goes for players now, Philip. Now
Jota, and the Japanese lad.
There's a question for you, Philip. Now, Jota or Maddison at Tottenham? Who would you prefer?
I'll go for Maddison, purely because he's got Premiership experience. Plus, Jota is more of a winger, more wide player. I think Maddison can play more down the middle. And it's looking very much like Newcastle are buying this guy from AC Milan now, and won't be able to afford Maddison either. So get in there and get. I think Spurs are in talks with Leicester, but talking is one thing. What are they actually saying to each other?
Well, apparently they haven't been. That's not. We said it earlier, Philip, that Simon Jordan, Daniel Levy told Simon Jordan that no approach had been made to Leicester over Maddison.
That's a few days ago. He said that. It may have changed since then, But so who knows? We'll never know till he's actually standing with a shirt in his hands at Hotspur away, and then we can all go celebrate,
And also, Philip, deals will take some time to do this current period due to a lot of players now being away on holiday. Now, how long do players get off in the off season? Is it about 4 weeks or 5 weeks, Philip? Is it?
The main squad, the ones that haven't been on international duty, are coming back on the 1st of July. So that means they've had the month of June off, basically, with a few days in May. And the ones that have been playing international football probably get an extra week.
Yeah.
Because they're jetting off to Australia in the middle of July. So, there's not that much time to get them all into shape.
No.
But I think players do. I saw a picture of, I think it was Eric Dyer was back at the training ground already. They do keep themselves in shape during the summer, There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Giroud says we're keeping an eye on Gleason Bremer. And apparently Laporte reheated and moved to us. Well,
Laporte would be a great addition.
Well, you might as well hang on to that, Philip, because I was also given that Laporte has snobbed a move to North London.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Funny. The papers had it earlier that he was angling for once. It just shows you don't know what to believe, really. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
It is. Right, Philip. Now, we decided that we were talking about FFP and everything yesterday, Philip, and this come up a little bit of yesterday, last night. Now, with Chelsea's ownership buying 100% into Strasbourg, now their ultras put up that Bowley's not welcome. It's a company called Blue Coat. Now, we talked about FFP. Now, they're looking to loan players from Chelsea to Strasbourg. But whatever Man City have done, they've actually let Chelsea off the hook with something to do. I don't know what Man City have done, but Chelsea now are not going to get looked into. So
not yet. Anyway.
No. Ownership, Philip. Now, UEFA said last night they're changing the rules that you can own more than one club fully.
Right, okay.
Because I think the rules are at the moment you can only earn a certain percentage of a club, can't you?
22% or 20-something percent, I think is what you're going to have.
Well, they're looking to relax that rule. Now,
I wonder how much they were paid to do that.
I don't know.
It's very coincidental that the minute Chelsea go buying into another club, UEFA decides to relax the rules. To me, that's a bit suspicious now.
It is. Man City's ownership owns teams, and this is from memory now: South America, Japan, China, Australia, Europe, of course, Man City, America, North America, and Canada. So that's 8 clubs that they're involved with. Now, this is the first time I think that Bowley now owns 100% of Chelsea and he owns 100% of Strasbourg.
Well, I hope he makes a bigger cock up at Strasbourg as he does at Chelsea, because if he does, those ultras won't stand for it. They will not stand for that. But I was just reading up about Chelsea and the way they got around FFP with their long contracts. Like, I don't know, just to give a quick breakdown how transfers work with FFP. If you buy a player for 25 million, right, on a 5-year contract, okay?
Yeah.
After year 1, you knock a fifth of his transfer fee off the price, okay? So say 25 million, 5-year deal. End of year 1, that player's worth 20 million, right? End of year 2, he's worth 15 million. Now, here's the funny part. At the end of year 2, if you decide that player is not working out, right, and you sell him for 10 million, now you think that was a loss of 10 million, right?
Yeah.
Or 5 million. It's not. It's classed as a profit. That's the silly way the FFP works. And what Chelsea have done is by giving players 8-year contracts, a player worth 80 million, instead of dropping 20 million a year over a 4-year deal, is dropping 10 million a year over an 8-year deal, which means they're getting away with murder, basically.
Yeah. So does FFP have to be changed? By the sounds of it, it does.
Yeah,
but
it does.
What should look? We all know Man City are under investigation by the Premier League and by, I think, is it UEFA as well? But under the Premier League are investigating 115 charges have been brought against.
Charges of it, yeah.
From 2008 when they first won the Premier League up to the end of last season. Now, if they get found guilty of FFP and rules they broke, rightly they should be stripped of all their trophies and cups that they've won. So that means Liverpool would have won a couple of championships. We would have won the League Cup as well.
As long as we don't do last season. As long as we don't do last season.
Well, that's another thing. We're sort of start a petition for that. We'd let them have last season. But what needs to happen, Philip? Because we know about FIFA and the corruption there. We know how corrupt FIFA was for the World Cup and where it was, and we had debates on that around that time, Philip. Are UEFA just as corrupt as FIFA are? And is the Premier League just as corrupt as UEFA and FIFA?
Is the Pope a Catholic?
Well, he was the last time I saw.
Of course it is. I mean, this thing is so wide open for corruption. I mean, you only have to look at Platini and Blatter. Look what they did and got away with it. You know, these guys seem to be untouchable when it comes down to actually paying for their crimes. And I've no doubt that the UEFA boys are lacing their own pockets. With making these decisions. Now, Manchester City were in 2020 kicked out of Europe for 2 years. They appealed it to the arbitration body. And not only were they allowed back into Europe, the fine that was imposed by UEFA was reduced. There's no point in fining teams like Manchester City. The only thing that's going to hit them is, like, as you said, strip them of their titles, points deduction, and a ban from Europe. That's the only thing that'll hit them. And that's the way it should be for any club. And I'll tell you, if Tottenham are guilty, they should be punished as well. There should be no exceptions made. But not just because you're Manchester City doesn't mean you get away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I actually got here the list of charges that Manchester City have against now.
It could be here all night reading them.
I'll tell you one thing. Right. There is... Mind you, you're so true, Philip. Right. Now, the range that they can be... Right, these are the range of... that they can be charged. Well, if they're found guilty, these are the punishments. They range from points deduction to even potential being expelled from the league, although the process is set to be a lengthy one. So these are the charges. One, in respect of each season between 2009 and 10 to 17-18, the Premier League rules in those seasons that require provisions by a member club to the Premier League in the utmost good faith of accurate financial information that gives a true and fair view of the club's financial position, in particular with respect to its revenue, including sponsorship revenue, its related parties and its operation costs, namely. So that is, I mean, one of them. I mean, the list just goes on and on, Philip, these charges.
Yeah.
And now, these are just
Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola says he wants it dealt with quickly, you know, which is absolutely, he doesn't. He wants it dragged out for another 4 years to get it there. So, and which they will do. They will employ lawyers that will keep it going and going and going. City have been accused of not cooperating with the inquiry, which means that's going to take forever to get through it. And which is an even bigger reason to throw the book at them when they do get fined, when they are found guilty.
Now, it says here, Man City have been charged with breaking financial fair play rules around 100 times over a 9-year period, which starts in 2009 and goes on to 2018. Now, you have to bear in that mind that during that period, Man City have won the Premier League 3 times. Now, this was 4 times now because they won the Premier League.
5 times now, isn't it?
5 times now.
5 out of the last 6.
Now, look, we're not. This is not an anti-Manchester City rant, but it's the point we're trying to make that Man City have been charged. Chelsea haven't been charged. So if somebody was to say come down from Mars, Philip, right, and ask you what's the difference between Chelsea and Man City? Do you know why Chelsea
the color of their shirts? The color of their shirts at the moment. Chelsea haven't been at it long enough to get caught.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Chelsea, Bowley's only there for a year. Wait till he's there 4 or 5 years. Then there's lots to go on.
Now, Chelsea, this is true. Chelsea have been cleared by the FA now. Yeah. I was told that
at the moment. At the moment, yeah, they have, yeah. But I mean, at the moment, at the moment. So we'll see what happens in later
what needs
years.
to change with the rules then, Philip? What do you know? What do the Premier League or UEFA have to do now? Look, if Man City are found guilty, there should be no room for appeal, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and they should have the book thrown at them. But is that fair? Like is that fair to the fans, or do you know what I mean? Or should they charge people that were at the time doing that, not the people that are there now?
But the people that were doing City in 2008 are still there. It's Etihad Airways and Abu Dhabi, so the same people are there all the time. Chelsea change of ownership. God knows what Abramovich got up to when he was there, But Bowley will be caught out. There's no doubt about it. He's only there a year, so they haven't that much to go on with him yet. But they will. I think what they'll do first of all, they'll change this rule of long contracts. They'll say that the maximum contract you can have is 5 years. Not an 8-year. Giving an 8-year contract, we'll probably never play for the club at all. It's ridiculous. Just loan them out somewhere else. It's crazy. Yeah, I feel sorry for Pochettino being involved with that lot. I really do.
Well, you get what you sow. Good luck to him. I hope he fails. Chelsea FC is a stitch up because Bowley doesn't actually own Chelsea. Now, Philip, I'm going to let you go on your rant on this because I know you've got your own opinion on this. So I'll let you get in there now. They are owned by a group in the Far East. Chelsea are going to sell these unwanted players to the clubs they own in the Far East.
Yeah.
This Saudi Arabia thing, Philip, we seem to have linked it that Newcastle are owned by people from Bahrain.
PIF, the Saudi PIF, the Public Investment Fund, which is the Saudi government, basically.
Yeah. So they own Newcastle.
Yeah, they've also heavily invested in Chelsea, even though but they're not owners, right?
So who owns
a crowd called Clear Lake Limited? Clear Lake Investments owns Chelsea.
Yeah. So who owns Man City?
Abu Dhabi, Etihad Airways, stroke Abu Dhabi, stroke the Abu Dhabi government.
And then who could now say that the Qataris don't get Man United and they get us?
Yeah.
Then 3 of the big wealthiest nations in the Middle East own 3 of the biggest clubs in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's no coincidence. No coincidence.
But
I told you. Sorry, Dan, go on.
You're going to get fans that are going to say, "Great, we're going to spend loads of money, win loads of trophies." But there is a moral sort of thing to this, isn't there, that people shouldn't forget, really, in a way.
There is, but I mean, let's face it. Newcastle fans had to suffer how many years of Mike Ashley, right? They haven't won a trophy in 65 years or something like that, right? So when they got the Qatar, I think they would have welcomed Saddam Hussein as an owner. They were so frustrated with but you know what I mean? They were so frustrated with Ashley. Right. They weren't looking at the human rights abuse of the Saudi Arabian government. It was probably spun to them a completely different way, right? So they're as happy as Larry with the Saudis owning them, right? Now, how the Saudis passed the fit for ownership regulations laid down by the FA, God only knows, right?
They have to.
Now, Qatar, they probably bribed them. Qatar is a little bit less on the human rights front. Not that, because we all objected to the World Cup being there because of all the people that died making the stadiums up and everything, But Qatar while they're not acceptable, they're not perfect. They're not as ruthless, and they wouldn't cut your hands off for driving a car if you're a woman like the Saudis would. Stuff like that, So if they go to Manchester United, good luck to them. If they come to us, even better. And I'm saying that, I mean, I'm being a hypocrite saying that. I would thoroughly disagree with the Saudi takeover of Tottenham, right? I can just about bear a Qatari one. But good luck to Newcastle, but they're going to get caught out on the financial fair play as well. Because they're working on figures from a couple of years ago, which wouldn't have been great. Now suddenly they can't go out and spend a huge amount of money, you know? That's why they can't afford James Maddison as well as this other guy they're buying from Italy whose name escapes me at the minute. So anyway, let's wait and see.
Yeah, but surely, Philip, if like the Italian clubs, right, over the years there's been scandals in Italian football all over the place, right? We know that. We can go back to 1982 with Rossi, leading goal scorer in the 82 World Cup, was suspended for 2 years for match fixing back in the late 70s. So you can go back all over the years in football. You had the Bruce Grobbelaar incident back in the 90s with him, and I forget the other player off the top of my head, for throwing games. Corruption and football is always sort of, and like boxing, have always walked hand in hand together.
Yeah, especially Italy being a mafia country as well, you know?
Yeah. So what do UEFA or FIFA now? FIFA is supposed to be the governing body of world football, right? Yeah. And they're supposed to set down the rules and how to govern the rules and the spirit, how football is supposed to be played. What do they have to do? Does it have to come from the very well-governing body that they set the rules, or does this fall under UEFA because it is a European?
Initially it would be UEFA. I think, you know, but I see UEFA are showing a bit of gumption at the minute. They're kicking Juventus out of the Conference League.
Yeah, I was going to say that to you. Actually, I said that to you earlier that their name is not on the entry list now. What do you think do you think UEFA are showing some balls here?
Well, they probably are, but I mean, they're kicking the man when he's down. I mean, Juventus were docked 15 points, right? Then they got them back. Thought, oh, this is great, we're going back. Then they knocked 10 points off them, and now they've kicked them out of the conference. So, they are showing a bit of balls. They've also kicked the Spanish side out. It was Osasuna.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, and this is going back to match fixing 7 or 8 years ago. So I think they probably realise now that if they don't act soon, the big boys, the money bags around the Middle East especially, are going to dominate the whole thing and take it over, and they'll be irrelevant. So I think they have to show they've got a pair of balls now, and hopefully they will do it, you know?
I mean, we've got a big up Wayne Bonner for a €5 super chat here. Big up, Wayne.
That's a great super chat. That's a great
It is. And he says, with regards to Chelsea's ownership, will the FA... Yeah, that's true. Yeah. With the FA and the Premier League take the same action as they did against Abramovich,
sod all?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know what happened in Ukraine, Philip, and what's happening in Ukraine. And it was right what they did. And I think myself personally, the British government were too slow in acting because they knew that some of their biggest donors were the high people that are the rich Russian billionaires. So they're the biggest donors to political parties. And if it's not in England, it's in America or wherever.
But I think what happened with Abramovich, Dermot, was this: they could not ignore Abramovich's ownership of Chelsea. They had to do something.
No.
Because remember the sanctions that were brought in? The sanctions that were brought in, Abramovich was on the sanctions list. I mean, every asset that he had in the UK was frozen. So they had to do something, you know. It'd be different if he'd avoided the sanctions list. Oh, yeah, they actually froze it down. He had to sell Chelsea. And he promised to give the proceeds to rebuild Ukraine. That hasn't happened. No. But then Abramovich is a Putin buddy of Putin. So I don't know what happened there. But no, the FA were right, but they had to. They put it like this: the FA's hand was forced to do that because of the sanctions implied by the British government, the US government, all the European governments.
Yeah, but were they too?
No, they moved very quickly. They moved very quickly on that. They moved very quickly. Like, he was gone within a couple of months. So they moved quite quickly on that. Now, whether they'll do the same with Bowley's interpretation of FFP, probably not, because it's not a political issue. It's not an issue where his countries have to be invaded, you know?
And the FA have cleared them anyway. So
for now, that won't last. That won't last.
Yeah, but big up Wayne Bonner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you so much. We've got Colin here saying, I know exactly how they managed to buy Newcastle. Well, do you want to come on and tell us? Loads of money.
Loads of money.
David Clark, under Abramovich, they used to buy 50 good players, put them out on loan, stopping their opponents to buy them. It's a loophole that must be closed, and that's another good point as well.
See, you can only have a squad of 25 players. Chelsea, if you added up all the players, they would have 75 players on their books, senior players.
If you could change 2 rules, Philip, in football now, I think one of them should be a maximum squad, how many people you can have in the squad. And the second one is there should be a transfer budget cap that each team can only spend a certain amount of money every window.
Well, that's tied to FFP if you want, really.
Yeah.
They can only spend so much relating to their income over 3 years.
Yeah. Well, they have that. They have a transfer. They have a budget cap in Formula One, where the teams can only spend so much within the budget.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Now,
again, you'd have it. That's easily broken because what you get there is the likes of Chelsea. One of their satellite clubs would buy a player and loan it to Chelsea, so no money changes hands. So that's what happened there. There's ways around most of these things.
Yeah. Wayne says, if I put a super chat in, you can randomly pick a name from the chat and put them in the draw for the Emerson shirt.
That's very good.
So who are we going to pick? Let's see now.
Oh, let me see. So I'd say what we should do, have a little competition for that, right?
Yeah, okay. So what's the...
What's the question you could put up?
Should we do the donkey one again? Because that was fun.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, go on. I'll let you come up with the question for that.
Oh God. Let me see. No, I'll tell you. No, do a different one. Right.
Okay.
Who would be right if you had to pick a new manager for Tottenham tomorrow? Right. Who would be the most unlikely one you'd pick? Right. And I'm going left stream on this. You can have Donald Trump. You can have Maggie Thatcher. You can have Boris Johnson. Right?
Oh, Lord Jesus.
The most ridiculous name for a manager for Spurs gets a free entry into the shirt, the Emerson Royale shirt.
Charlie Hottie.
They could be dead or alive. They don't have to be alive because probably they're better off dead anyway, some of them. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. We've got David Clark says, Abramovich actually gave up his British citizenship and took up a dual Israeli. I forgot the other country, it may have been Portuguese, so he was refused entry into Britain.
Oh, right. Okay.
I watched something on CNN, right? And it was around the time he was Chelsea being sold. He put his boat somewhere in Turkey where they couldn't touch his boat. I remember that. Yeah. But Wayne Bonner says, I am by no means a Levy fan. Don't like him. But he has us financially stable before. There will be a no repeat of 91. Dermot knows. Yeah. That's true. That's very true. That. Yeah. Oh God.
Kim Jong-un. Yeah, that's right. Conte. Yeah, right. Okay. I'm going to write these down here. Then we can pick one at the end.
Okay, we've got Wayne Bonner saying Arsenal Wenger, Winnie the Pooh, me, Brad Pitt, and Deadpool.
John Cleese, David Clark. Kim Jong-un is.
What have you opened up here, Philip? Adolf Hitler. I'm John Cleese. Yeah. Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, that's right. He's a good one. Yeah. Yes. No Donald Trump yet. Just amazed Donald Trump hasn't featured yet.
I already said Donald Trump.
All right. I'll put you down for Donald Trump then.
Well, Davo's put Diane Abbott for the job. Drula's put Mr. Bean. I actually would have done John Major. He's another one I would have actually. John Major's another one. Who else? I'll tell you. Who else could you put in the chat anyway? But look,
put in the chat. We've got about 10 or 12 of them so far anyway.
Now, Philip, with our new goalkeeper in Google, as we're calling him.
Google Vicario, yeah.
Now, is he an Ange or is he a club signing? Now, for me, I think he's a club signing. Now, I know you may disagree with me on this now.
Yeah.
But I think he's a Levy signing because I think Ange would wanted Raya or somebody like that in an experienced Premier League goalkeeper. But this player we've bought in for 90 million euro is a gem.
Yeah.
But is he a club signing or a managed signing?
No, I think that the certain things in life that are now extinct, right?
Yeah.
The dinosaur, the dodo, an Arsenal fan with sense, and club signing at Tottenham.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to God that is gone and never will return. Yeah. I think this is an Ange signing because he specialised at Celtic and bringing in players like this guy, who tore the place up once they got in. So I think this is a continuation. Now I could be completely wrong, but I just feel Ange is putting his stamp on that club at the moment, and I think every player that comes in is one that he wants because he's an Aussie and he wouldn't stand for any crap by bringing in players he didn't want. So hope I'm right.
Wayne says, Wayne says, if anyone puts in Manuel from Forked Tales, I'll put a €5 super chat in. Oh, well, you're very kind. We've got Jim saying Charlie Kane.
Yeah,
we've
that's
got
a good one. Yeah.
Harry Winks. No, where we got? So we got Davo saying Sobby Ravage.
Robbie Savage.
Kate says
Robbie
Manuel.
Savage, now Kate's done it.
Harry Winks. We've got Kate saying BB, but Boris Johnson, who couldn't organise. He couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery.
But he could, he could, especially during COVID.
Column saying Eric Dyer. Mia saying Putin. So we've had Adolf Hitler, Putin. I'm just waiting for Stalin to be put in. Just get the three of them. Who else we got?
Napoleon hasn't come up yet either.
We've got Andrew Gregory, Mother Teresa. Florence Nightingale. Andrew Gregory's put Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi. We've got Mick Humnut putting Boris. We've got Basil the Rat. Basil the Rat.
Basil the Rat. Yeah, I'm running out of paper here, lads. We have to put a time limit on this, I think. We're going to be another 2 minutes, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah.
For the competition.
We've got Colin says the new manager would have to be the Cockle Cock. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Dermot, we should have Fred crashing through the window every time you fall for that. Really, we should do, you know.
Jarula's just put God.
Yeah, I think even he'd have a problem at Spurs, wouldn't he?
I think him, the Holy Spirit, and Moses would. We've got Davo saying Sepp Blatter. 40 Towers, Basil the Rat. Oh, yeah. Basil Brush, Milton McDonald's. Mia's gone for Jesus Christ. And the 12 Apostles as the backup squad. So we'll leave that running for a few more minutes.
No, another minute or so. I'm running out of paper writing the names down here. So.
Mia says we need him
to resurrect us.
Oh dear! I tell you, Mia, there's no way you're going to get past St. Peter on the pearly gates. I'll tell you that now. I'll tell you that now.
Oh dear.
There's Wayne Bonner with his promise. Big up Wayne. Good man, Wayne.
Man of his
and
word.
Then big up Mia, and then we've got Kate saying Daniel Levy worst choice. No, yeah.
Okay, we'll close off the competition now, right? That's it.
I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick now.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it now in a minute to see what's what. Yeah. And
so, with our new goalkeeper, Philip, now who would be number one, Foster or Google? I'm going for Google to be number one.
Yeah, same here. I think he will as well. I think Foster's we're lucky. Foster's a good understudy. He really is. He didn't let us down at all. Since he came in at the half time in that Newcastle debacle, and but I think Google will come in, want to hit the ground running, you know, and
we've got to leave this going for a bit, another 3 minutes. Got to put the last two in. Yeah, got to put the donkey in, and also the Tasmanian Devil. I used to. What was the name of that cartoon where the he kept dying all the time with all the. He was trying to kill the Roadrunner.
Oh God, yeah, Elmer Fudd.
No. The road somebody put it into the chat. Next season, you won't have a number one such, in my view.
Well, they're going to share the duties. Never a great idea, that really. I don't think. Interesting.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, yes. I'm surprised nobody's come up with my favourite Arsenal player yet. I really am.
Who's that?
Paul Merson.
Oh, cokehead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Paul Merson.
Yeah.
Did you hear this Harry Redknapp story about Paul Merson?
Yeah.
With Wiley Coyote. Harry Redknapp, when Paul Merson was at Portsmouth, right? There was a couple of matches. This is a very good story. Watching these coming through. Apparently, they're 2 weeks off because of the match off. And Paul Merson was hitting the coke at the time, and he says, "Boss, can I go into rehab for a week? I need to dry myself out." So Harry says, "Where you go?" So that's fine. So anyway, Merson goes off and books a flight to Barbados with himself and the wife. And they're walking on the main street just the next day, and they're like, "Oh, how are you, Dave? How's it going?" Harry Redknapp's best mate, right? So Dave goes back to the hotel and rings Harry Redknapp. "Do you know who I just met in Barbados? Paul Merson. He's supposed to be in rehab." "Well, he's in Barbados now." So I went back to training and back to the following week, thinking he's going to get absolute bollocking. Harry never mentioned it. It was about 2 years later when he says, "By the way, I know where you were that week and it wasn't in rehab." Oh, it's a great story.
Oh, it is. We've got I think so, to help him adjust to life in the Prem.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Maybe. Yeah, where you're coming from, actually. Yeah. But then again, I have a feeling that a goalie like him is better thrown in the deep end. You know, just let him at it. He's been okay in Serie A, so let him carry on. You know.
Right, Philip. Who's going to get into the competition now after such the great ones we've had?
Right. Well, I think.
What's your top three?
We'll go on to the top three. I think are. I think from pure ridiculousness, right? That's the only qualifying thing. You know, it's never going to happen. Is Kim Jong-un, right? I think he's got to go. I think Adolf Hitler is another one that's be there, and let me see. The other one is
I swear to God,
Mother Teresa. Right, so it's
said Donald Trump. Actually, I'm really shocked at that.
Well, I mean, you know, I know he couldn't manage a football club. I know he couldn't manage anything, but no, yeah, I think Donald Trump's first reserve, right?
Yeah.
So Mother Teresa, I love it. We'll name the winner now in a minute. I just want to mull over it there, you know.
Yeah, and I swear to God, these podcasts are getting weirder and weirder every week. We do one, Philip. To be fair,
why not?
God knows. We're supposed to be talking about the week at Spurs, and we end up talking about Adolf Hitler and Boris Johnson in the same breath.
Mother Teresa taking over at Tottenham. Yeah.
Right. Now, if the Qataris...
She died. Just one thing with Mother Teresa. I have to get this off my chest. She died the same week as Lady Diana.
I know.
You know? Do you remember Elton John recorded the song Candle in the Wind at the same time? The version of Mother Teresa was Sandals in the Bin. I know that's horrible. That's terrible. I'm ashamed of myself for saying that, but I just thought it was funny at the time, you know.
Oh Lord! Oh God, Lord! I don't know. I definitely you won't be getting past the pearly gates. I definitely will be seeing you on the highway.
I think I've just booked my place there at the other place now after that.
Yeah. Wayne says we need to keep this competition going. I love how much fun it is. It is great fun, to be fair. Wayne says if I could choose your manager other than Ange, I'd go with the Cockerel Cock. Oh, yeah, do you know what? I'm just going with it now. That's brilliant. Andrew said. Oh God. I think our coach should be Ricochet.
Ricochet.
And Kate says, "Oh my God, I was going to tell that joke, Philip, but thought it was ruthless."
Got there first, Kate.
You did. Right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to put the link into the chat for about 5 minutes. We're only going to go for another 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to come off. So I'm going to put it in there. whoever wants to pop on and just have their thoughts about the week at Spurs. Give us your thoughts. Give us what you think, how the week's been. You've heard me and Philip's thought on it and the hash we've made of it, to be fair. And I just like to say it's been lovely working with you, Philip. And
the libel cases will be following tomorrow.
It's been nice working with you, but it's been a year's work. It's just gone down the tube.
Well, sure, that's it. Anyway, let me know what prison you're in. I'll come and visit you.
Yeah, no, I'll be visiting you. Right, I haven't said anything. And Kate says you're a bad.
You're supposed to be controlling me. You're supposed to be controlling me. You see, that's the thing.
Ellie says, joining you late, lads. I was just, you see, Ellie, Ellie, just come on for a minute. I want to talk to you. Come on here for a minute, Ellie, and we'll get your thought. I'd love to hear Ellie's thought on this. Who she'd pick.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, that would be funny. Philip, look, we're now sort of coming out to pre-season, the 1st of July next week. Yeah. I think Ange takes over, Scott Munn takes over at Spurs. Mm-hmm. Daniel Levy starts hiding the checkbook and the credit card, somewhere that nobody can find it. We'll have the usual people saying to Tottenham are not buying anything, the Harry Kane saga. How do we A, deal with the Harry Kane saga once and for all? And B, what is on Ange's to-do list when he takes over on the 1st of July?
Bring a black black sack with him, right? And get rid of some of the driftwood that's hanging around the dressing room. I would also think that Harry Kane, once he's had a meeting with Ange, must come out with a statement and let us know what's happening. We cannot keep going on this will he, won't he? We need to know what's happening. And also, I have a feeling the 1st of July is 8 days away now, 7 days, this day week.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow week. I think Andrew's been in there for the last fortnight anyway. So he started. Yeah. And listen, it's the first day of the rest of our lives, really. And we forget the past, forget what's gone on in the past. All the players that come in, give them a chance. Don't be dissing them. I mean, there was some crazy comments about this goalkeeper that's coming in. People, we let in goals last season. So what? So every goalkeeper that ever lived lets in goals. Look at his positive. Look at the saves he was making. Anyway, Ellie, how are you?
I'm all right. I've been banished to the bathroom because Love Island is on.
Oh my God! Highbrow TV tonight.
Ellie's not in back. Ellie's not back. Ellie's not in backwards and coming forward, calling herself "I am a Spurs star." She's not in backwards and coming forwards, is she? Now, Ellie, we got a competition running, right? And we've had it running during the show. We're going to finish it soon. We've had a gas. Okay. Philip, ask her the question. And I'll tell you one thing. Right. We've had people. I get Philip to read out some of the names we've had, right? So over to you.
Who is the most, if you had to name a Spurs manager, anybody in history, living or dead, who would be the most ridiculous choice as Spurs manager, right? Now, what we've had so far is we've had Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Basil the Rat, God, Sepp Blatter, Basil Fawlty, Jesus Christ, Paul Merson, Kim Jong-un, Adolf Hitler, we've had among others. Let's see now, we've got Robbie Savage, John Cleese. There's loads more. So, who would you pick as the most ridiculously unsuited person to take over Tottenham?
The guy Michael Crawford used to play in Some Mothers Do Have.
Frank Spencer.
Frank Spencer. Yeah, Frank Spencer.
Yeah. No, actually, no. I heard he was taken out over Arsenal. I heard he was going to Arsenal.
Oh, you're funny, Philip. Oh, my God.
Oh, no. That's a bit of crack.
Yeah. That's my
Frank
choice.
Spencer is right. Yeah. I think I named the winner on this one, and it's purely because it's probably the most ridiculous one that we'll ever have. I think I've even put this in. Hang on, let me see. Who actually came up with it?
Give it to Kate. Give it to Kate. She's just come in, Philip. Give it to Kate. She's just come in.
Hello. Oh no, the doctor started.
Whoever put in Kim Jong-un is the winner.
I'll have a look through.
I just have that much written on the sheet. I can't even see it. But Kim Jong-un,
I tell you, somebody that actually had the balls to type Adolf Hitler. I give him credit for that. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Right.
Anyway.
We've got a joke here from David Clark. Do you want to read this out, this joke, Philip? Because you're a bit the comedian more than me.
2 Irishmen walking through the woods, and one of them spots a sign on a tree saying 3 fellas wanted. One Irishman turned to the other and said, "It's a shame he didn't bring Mick along."
Right. Well, firstly, welcome, Kate, again. You came on before a little while ago. Do you want to tell us a bit about your channel and what it's going to be about and what
me?
your channel is? Yeah, you. Yeah.
Thank you. I did.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't posted anything yet because I've been. Well, I didn't. I didn't even want to come on tonight because I look a mess.
Oh no, you look fine. Honestly,
Oh,
you're grand.
okay. You're all right. Our makeup department didn't turn up tonight, so you're fine.
Well, I am going to posting. Sorry, I had your YouTube open as well, so I've just closed it so I can hear you better. It's going to be just like this, really, chatting about Spurs, having a giggle. I mean, you lot have inspired me to do my own channel, really. So I thought, why not give it a go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's good fun.
What
it's
could
good
possibly go wrong?
Nothing.
Everything. Just jumping Philip on and get him to talk about the war, because then it just goes downhill.
But yeah, it's just going to be similar to this. I hope it's half as good as this one.
Well,
okay,
to
if
be fair,
if you ever
Kate,
want us to come on, there's no problem. We just ask them. We'll go on. We'll go on. No problem.
Yeah. Can I just say also,
What's he
Philip
doing?
Philip behind the scenes is a bit like Uncle Albert, right? Isn't he, Ellie? All we get right during the war. That's all we hear from Philip behind. When he comes on,
I don't mention the war. I don't mention the war.
You do every time, Philip, behind the count, before we go on, it's during the war. A bit like Uncle Albert.
By the way, Uncle Albert is 33 years dead today. Well, 23 years dead today, I think.
Is he?
Yeah. And yesterday was Keith Birkinshaw's 88th birthday, so happy birthday, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up, Keith. Our legendary manager. Right, just before we finish, Kate, look, how do you think this summer's going for us transfer window-wise? Are you happy with it? Not happy with it?
I'm on the fence. I like the look of Vicario purely as the look of Vicario. I'm not sure about him yet.
Another Romero job.
Because he couldn't catch a cold from what I've seen on the videos that I've watched.
Oh, you want to watch? Some of them they can. Literally can. Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that we're linked to everyone, but nobody's there holding up the shirt yet.
No, they will.
Well, I think Del Boy and Rodney are doing the transfers for us this summer.
Trigger, more like.
Yeah, Trigger.
Trigger was a Spurs fan, so we might do that, you know?
Philip, you got to tell that story again about what's his name, the fella for the 9-0.
Oh yeah, you remember Peter Cook and Dudley Moore? They were the comedians back in the 70s. Peter Cook was a massive Spurs fan. And he went to the Spurs Bristol City game in Division 2 in October 77. And he tells it himself, he had a kidney complaint at the time. And he missed all 9 goals. He went to the toilet 9 times during the match and he missed every goal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing that happened to me.
Yeah, there you are.
We've got columns saying here, I remember the last time I came on, Philip was talking about the time he rode to war on the back of a T-Rex in the Great War.
Oh, Philip.
I'm leaving. I can't take this abuse. You know? Just because I have an interest in the war, you know? No, I know I'm not. I feel it sometimes, but no.
I must admit that is actually quite funny.
Actually, it wasn't a T-Rex; it was a Brontosaurus.
We've got you've got Wayne Bonner during the war. The boat I was on sank Del Boy. Mia's telling me off.
I love it when Dermot gets the giggles.
Yeah.
Bless you, Albert. David says, "I've just raised a toast because the ex-Chelsea coach who would not be named has signed a contract."
I believe the blue side of Glasgow's been having a party ever since.
Did we ever find out what happened to the wee donkey?
No.
It was number 25 on the Chinese restaurant.
Oh no.
Yes.
Wilton's asking, Dermot, what happened to the young Canadian who used to do the stats? Do you know what? We don't know.
We don't know. He kind of disappeared.
He did. I think his mum said he had to do his schooling. And so we tried to get him back. I haven't actually been in contact with him for a while, but I'll try to get him on again for you, Wilton. No problems. I think this has to be, Philip, the funniest, weirdest podcast I've ever done with you.
It's been all over the place, hasn't it? It's been all over the place. But sure, that's the way it should be. I mean, life's too serious. We'll have a laugh at times.
Yeah.
You know? We don't do
The wee donkey was riding alongside Philip.
I get a picture. There's a donkey in the field next to us here, so I must get a picture of him and put him up. I'll put him up as my profile picture. Keep everybody happy then, you know.
Wayne said, "Damn, I wonder why that Chinese takeaway tasted different."
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying now. I'm totally gone.
I think quit while you're ahead. Look,
I will say I want to show this if I can. I don't know if I am being able to, but I am. I was watching it last night and it made me laugh, and it got me thinking about Jack Charlton, Philip, and the stories that he come up with while he was in charge of the Ireland side. So let me get it back here. So now this is a program over here that me and Philip know quite well. It's called The Late Late Show, which has been running since the 60s, Philip?
Yeah, the 1860s.
Yeah. But anyway, Jack Charlton, of course, was our great manager, of course, between 88 and 1994. Now, this is his story of, let me get it back now. I think it's about here, about when they went to the Pope. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually his story. So we're going to play you this. We hope you enjoy it. And then what we're going to do at the end, we're going to play the Irish World Cup song again at the end. And let's see what you think. So this is this. Please enjoy this. This is a great crack.
Well, I mean, I'm not a Catholic. I'm a Protestant, but all the lads are Catholics, and we have pretty well every time we go, we have one of the monsignors or someone comes in and does a mass for the lads. And when we got to Rome, that was really the pinnacle. We were going to meet the Pope, and we had a great trip. Went in to see him, and they took us through the big audience chamber. And as we went in, we got applauded all the way down. It was terrific. And then they sat us in some seats, and I was sort of at the front on the corner, and the Pope came in, and he was like 50 yards away on the dais up there. And he kept looking and going, and I thought he was waving at me. And I kept waving back. But
hello.
Well, the hard part, I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, was like we were there for something like 3 hours. And
why?
Well, because they have, if you've never been to the thing, you wouldn't understand it. Because there are people from all around the world, and there may be 2,000-3,000 people in this chamber.
Yeah.
Some of them would sing a song, and another group would sing a song, and then the Pope would make a speech in 3 or 4 different languages, which would be repeated by the different lieutenants and things, and they would introduce everybody, and it just went on and on. And the hard part I found in it was not the yawn, because on the other side of the auditorium there were a bank of photographers. You know, and the cameras are pointing where, and they're waiting for you. I was convinced they're waiting for me to make one indiscretion, like oh. And if I'd have done that once, I would have been on the front row of the people of the news of the world all along. So it was like when you wanted to. Yeah. But it was a lovely trip, and we all thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a terrific day.
And did he talk to you then?
Didn't talk to me very much. He just said, I got introduced. They wanted me to stand at the front so he could come and meet me first, but I didn't like that. So I pushed Charlie O'Leary in the front. And he took a fancy to Charlie. He talked to Charlie for a long time. And he talked to Mick Byrne. Well, he didn't talk to Mick Byrne much because Mick kept kissing his hand. And Mick was more concerned with that than he was with talking to him. But Charlie, he's talking to Charlie. I said to Charlie afterwards, what did he say to you? He said, I was so overawed, I don't remember the word he said. But when I got introduced, they sort of came and pulled me out of the crowd and took me to the front and introduced me. And I just shook hands with them. He said, they said, this is Mr. Charlton, the coach. And he went, yes, the boss. And he shook hands and then...
He knew who he was talking to, Jack. He knew. He knew who he was talking to, the boss.
Do you think so?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
No, it was a lovely day, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though it meant... Well, I suppose it means a great deal to everybody just to be there in that atmosphere. It's tremendous.
Not a bad little place either, is it? I mean, you know, good space to move around. Did you enjoy the...
There you go. That's a bit of fun. He was a great man, wasn't he, Philip?
He was, yeah. He was.
He really was. What he didn't tell the story was that I forget what the story is. I'll remember for the next time. But anyway, Kate, do you want to plug your channel? Tell everyone where they can find you, and then we'll end up with the Irish Girls song.
Yes,
I know Ellie loves it, and she's thinking of becoming an Irish citizen. Apart from coming to San Marino, Italy, Germany, Belgium, half of Europe, half the world. Ellie's not taking over the world, by any like wars or anything. Ellie's just going around becoming citizens of the world, and then for anyone knows it, Ellie's just owning everyone.
No
right,
comment.
okay, fair enough. Anyway, Kate.
Well, my channel's very new. I mean, I've only got 7 subscribers. I haven't uploaded anything yet, but it's Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs is the name, and Mia's just posted the link for me. I'm going to post my first video tomorrow. I don't know whether to do a live stream because I haven't got that many subscribers yet. I'm all new to this.
I'm sure Ellie will. If you do a live stream, Ellie will be there within 5 seconds.
Bless her.
She does. She has this antenna, Ellie does. She's sitting in the sitting room watching telly, right? Watching EastEnders. And she gets like a spidey tingle. There's a show coming on. And suddenly Ellie's there. She's on the screen. So there you go.
I'm a Spurs addict. And my daughter just grabbed my phone off me about half an hour ago and said I'm not allowed to have it. She goes, Mum, you're Spurs obsessed.
So
I appreciate that you've all you're helping me along this journey that's very, very early on. But
no problem.
Why not give it a go?
No problem.
No problem.
So yes, thank you. And as I say, it's called Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, which is me. I met my husband at Spurs, so they mean a lot to both of us. They brought us together, so we're both massive Tottenham fans. So I'm sure Jim will be popping up every now and again.
Yeah, and Spurs has brought me and Philip together, where Philip will be issuing to me with writs and everything. He's probably writing a big long list down. Right, I'm soon for this, and this. I swear to God, right, this podcast is supposed to be professional, but I've loved this one. This has been a giggle. If this is what our politics one we're doing, Philip, and we are going to do a politics podcast. Which is going to be
that's going to be X-rated. X-rated, I can tell you that one.
It will be. Mia and Ellie will join us for that one. We might get another guest as well on. Might get you on as well, Kate and Jim. And we'll have a laugh and we'll have a giggle with it.
Excellent.
I just want to very quickly before we end up with the Irish girls. Come on, you girls in green who are going to win the World Cup and beat England in the final. I just want to say I just want to show Ellie what she did just before. This is Ellie when she finds out there's a stream going on YouTube.
Yes, that's me.
and really on that bombshell. Now, I normally will go out with the we're going to leave Kate's link at the bottom up. Philip, thank you for joining us on this podcast as well.
I have to shoot off now. No, listen, I enjoyed that. That was very good fun. I have to shoot off now, and I will give you a ring in the morning, Dermot. I'm away for the next 2 days, but I'll give you a shout tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah,
Kate, great to see you. And Mia and Ellie, great to see you.
You've just given Ellie now an opportunity to say, "Come on, Dermot, we're going to do a stream." See?
Yeah, no, but Philip's more international man than me. He's more international.
International man and missing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for Scooby-Doo to pop his head up. Anyway, this is called Tanner to Australia. Philip, thank you so much. This podcast will be going up on Spotify. Anyone that listens to it.
I'm wearing green.
We do. If anyone hears this while they're doing their shopping or at the gym, we apologise now for any harm that this podcast may do. But there was no animals hurt in the making of this podcast. But anyway, this is Tanner to Australia. We'll see you over the weekend. If not, we'll be back Monday at 4:00 when you speak. Please get over to Kate's channel, hit the like button. Hit the like button here. Ellie's got a breakfast show. She'll be back. Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs and Nantry Trust, and come on, you girls in green. Do us proud and down under. Hope you like it.
Woo!
Started out with Sweden, the world's number 2. An unlucky own goal was the difference of us two. Katie McCabe's efforts and Lucy Quinn's strike couldn't find the net, but they really tried that night. Tyler was electric and the fans were filled with pride to see the girls in green put up such a good fight. We are the fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Vera's army and we'll sing it loud and proud. We are the fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Vera's army and we'll win it loud and proud. They flew across to Finland to secure 3 points, with Connolly's free kick putting us in front. The game was then level and that was no surprise, with Brosnan on her toes, diving left and right. The game was not over, we responded instantly, with O'Sullivan's header giving us the victory. We are the fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Vera's army and we'll sing it loud and proud. We are the fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Vera's army and we'll win it loud and proud. The girls in green came crashing down to earth, going 1-0 down. At home it kinda hurt. Thankfully McKay pulled one back. It kept us in the game and it brought the spirits back. Georgia was up next, a must-win game, and Ireland hit a record 11 goals to their name. Chala was a fire and the fans were singing loud, singing we want more. You could hear us from the clouds. We are the fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Vera's army and we'll sing it loud and proud. We are the fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Vera's army and we'll win it loud and proud. Then we were back up against the Swedes. The girls in green fought until they couldn't breathe. Let's just fast forward to see what happened next. We traveled over to Glasgow, hoping for the best. The temperature was rising, Scotland got a penalty tonight by Brosnan, our green machine. Vera made a change, and little did we know Barrett would score with their big toe. I'll believe your stereotypes, I'll believe your setbacks, I'll believe your best. From Tyler to Australia, I'll believe your stereotypes, I'll believe your setbacks, I'll believe your best. From Thailand to Australia, we're going to Australia to support the girls in green. To Sydney, Perth, and Brisbane, and travel with the team. We're going to Australia to support the girls in green. To Sydney, Perth, and Brisbane, and maybe even dream. We are the Fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Ira's army, and we'll sing it loud and proud. We are the Fighting Irish, we will never be put down. We're a part of Ira's army, and we're women loud and proud.
So there you go. That is the girls in green. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of the evening. Come on, you Spurs. Ellie, you there? No, Ellie's gone. Ellie's sitting in. Ellie, you're sitting in the dark in the bathroom.
No, it's light.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the end of the show. Thank you all for watching. God bless you all. Come on, you Spurs. In Ange we trust.
Woo!